Good morning everyone and welcome. Look at it, it's not raining, the sun is shining, almost. The sun is there somewhere behind the clouds, isn't it? Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? It's absolutely beautiful. It's beautiful. So today is the third of 3 events that we've been holding across Wales over the last week. Last week we were in Cardiff and Carmarthenshire, and each event is taking the same basic format. So we've got a young person speaking, a parent carer, an employer, and then we're having discussion tables later on. So I'm hoping that you're really going to get stuck in the discussion tables and tell us exactly what you think and what your views are. So the idea was to bring together people with lived experience, their families, service commissioners and service providers to discuss employment, what works, what is needed and what is currently available. I'm going to set the scene for today's event by briefly talking about the initial Engage to Change project and what's been happening since that project finished at the end of May last year. Please bear with me if you're already very familiar with that project. So Engage to Change was a Pan-Wales employment project funded by the National Lottery Community Fund in partnership with the Welsh Government. The project supported young people aged 16 to 25 years who have a learning difficulty, learning disability and/or autism, and who were NEET, that is not in employment, education or training, or who were at risk of becoming NEET. Led by Learning Disability Wales, the project was delivered by a partnership of organisations, including Cardiff University's National Centre for Mental Health, and we've got Elisa and Andrea here somewhere from NCMH, and Elite and Agoriad supported employment agencies, All Wales People First, and we worked in collaboration with DFM Project Search, FE colleges, local authorities, health boards and businesses across Wales. So what did we actually do? In brief, taking an individualised approach, Engage to Change worked closely with the young person, their parents, carers and employers to overcome barriers to employment, develop skills, provide unpaid work experience, paid supported employment, volunteering opportunities and access to supported internships, traineeships and apprenticeships. We aim to demonstrate to employers the valuable contribution that these young people can make to the workplace and to influence recruitment practices to make them more accessible and to make the workforce become more diverse. 746 employers across Wales offered work preparation opportunities such as mock interviews, workplace visits and unpaid placements, while 410 provided paid placements. We also had 3 health boards, 1 university, 1 local authority and several small employers take the role of host business for the supported internships. Engage to Change awarded 16 employers across Wales for their outstanding work, including the local health board here, and we're going to hear a bit from Tracy later on this morning. I'm not going to give you information about the extensive data that was collected and the outcomes, but if you are interested, there's a series of evaluation reports and videos. They're available on the project website in the research and evaluation page, and I'm sure Andrea and Elisa would be quite happy to talk to you about those today as well if you're interested.
I'm interested.
Okay. Brilliant. What I will say is that we had a paid employment rate of 41% across the main project and the supported internships, and this is exceptionally good when compared with the 4.8% of adults with learning disabilities and 21.7% of autistic people employment across England. And unfortunately we don't have figures for Wales because those figures aren't currently collected, and this is something again that we're pushing Welsh Government to start doing. So Engage to Change partners also set out to influence practice and policy in areas such as disability and youth employment, work-based learning and further education. The project introduced supported internships to Wales. There weren't any before the project. With the introduction in 2021 of the new independent living skills curriculum delivered by FE colleges across Wales came Pathway 4 supported internships. Funded by Welsh Government, there are now around 20 supported internship programmes running across Wales. We set out to evidence that job coach support and supported employment work, with the hope that after Engage to Change had finished, this support would become core funded and made available to those that need it. Our call for a national job coaching service, funded by Welsh Government, resulted in many meetings with key civil servants, members of the Senedd and meetings with Vaughan Gethin, who at that time was Minister for Economy. As a result of our work with Welsh Government, job coach support became available through Jobs Growth Wales Plus, supported and supported shared apprenticeships. In addition, the Welsh Government Employability and Skills Plan now states that in future, Welsh Government will be taking forward activity to improve access to and outcomes on our employability programmes for people with significant learning disabilities by providing specialist intensive job coach support. The Transition to Employment report, authored by Dr Kenvyn David MS, features Engage to Change as a good practice model and makes the recommendation that the Welsh Government should review support for job coaching for those transitional learners with additional learning needs who request it. With reference to the good practice developed by Engage to Change and Learning Disability Wales, an ALM job coaching strategy should be prepared, expanding the provision of specialist job coaches to support learners with ALN to gain paid employment. So what have we been doing since Engage to Change finished? Learning Disability Wales and NCMH at Cardiff University secured funding from the National Lottery Community Fund and Welsh Government to carry on working on behalf of people with learning disabilities, to influence policy and practice. Influencing and informing Engage to Change is taking forward the legacy of the initial project. We would like to see the development of a national job coaching strategy that would see job coach support available across Wales for people who could not get a job without it, including all Welsh Government funded employability and skills programmes. We would like to see job coaching recognised as a profession, with all who provide it required to work to the national occupational standards for supported employment, and job coaches being required to undertake training in supported employment and systematic instruction. We want it to be recognised that employment support and supported employment are not the same thing. Supported employment involves a lot more than helping someone to prepare for work, develop a CV, practice interview skills and apply for jobs. Supported employment follows a 5-stage model of job seeker engagement, vocational profiling, employer engagement, job analysis and matching, and in-work job coach support. It's based on the idea that anyone can work if they are motivated and have the right personalised support. It's called supported because it typically involves job coaching in the workplace. A one-to-one job coach supports the person into employment, from preparation and vocational profiling to looking for a job and learning it in the workplace. A job coach will help with job matching. They will help the person to think about the skills they have and how that matches with a job specification, but they will also help the person think about the type of workplace they would like. For example, if someone has said they don't want to work in a loud and busy environment, they'll help the person to look for jobs where it is quiet and the person can work at their own pace. They aim to fit the job to the person and not the person to the job. Once a job has been secured, the job coach is a specialist who uses structured techniques to help the young person learn tasks to the employer's specifications, step by step. They can also help the young person learn the interpersonal and social skills necessary to be an employee, and they can help with problems in the workplace. They will support as little or as much as is needed, with a view to that support gradually being withdrawn. However, will maintain contact to help with any issues, support the person to develop or to change jobs. We want people with learning disabilities. We want people with learning disabilities, their family and people who work with them, to be aware of the different pathways to employment and support that is available. We want them to be aware of their rights, for example, to reasonable adjustments in the workplace. We want young people with learning disabilities, autistic young people and their families to know the Welsh Government's promise that all young people will be offered support to gain a place in education, training or an apprenticeship, find a job or become self-employed applies equally to them. The Young Person's Guarantee applies to all young people aged 16 to 24 in Wales. We're continuing to advocate for job coach support to be available for young people for whom the existing provision that I mentioned earlier is not appropriate, and for people over the age of 24. How are we doing all of this? We're continuing to work with Welsh Government, members of the Senedd, local authorities, health boards, colleges and regional partnerships with the aim of ensuring that people of all ages who have learning disabilities and or autism can access the support they need to gain and sustain employment. We've helped to shape the National Lottery Community Fund Sustainable Steps Green Careers Programme and the North Wales Learning Disability Employment Strategy. In the last month, Kenvyn David MS asked questions on our behalf about provision of job coach support to Vaughan Gethin during First Minister's questions in the Senedd. And believe me, we're going to keep on asking more questions. We've got until the end of November, so we haven't got much time left to keep on pushing this, but we're quite determined. We also write articles, we produce research and evaluation reports, videos and infographics to inform people about what works and what is needed to get support for people to get paid employment. We featured on BBC Wales Today and BBC Breakfast Live in November last year. Our project social media is active in promoting our work and sharing information. We present to group meetings and at events held by others. We hold our own events such as this one today. We respond to queries from parents, carers, young people and professionals that we receive via the Engage to Change contact email, and we send out information. We're actually trying at the moment really hard to map out what is available across Wales, and believe me, it's a very hard job. Things are constantly changing with different pots of funding that last for different lengths of time. And in some areas you've got really good programmes like the new one that is starting across North Wales. In other areas you've got absolutely nothing at all. So it's proving quite a difficult task. Geraint is on the case. He's starting to try and find out what is out there and to map it out. We meet with people from a range of organisations who are interested in supported employment. So, I mean, if you'd like to meet with any of us, or if you'd like us to present at an event, or, present at a meeting, we're happy to do that either in person or on Teams or Zoom, whichever, would suit you. So please get in touch if you'd be interested in that. And we're very aware that a lot of work is needed in schools and with parents and young people, and this is something that came out quite strongly in the two events that we held last week. People don't know what support is available and they don't know what those different pathways are and what choices they can have. So we're really keen to do that in particular. So last year we launched Engage to Change Pathway to Employment videos. They're freely available for anyone to use. They feature young people and employers from the project, and they can be found on the project YouTube channel and on Careers Wales website. We're asking for Welsh Government, DWP and public bodies in Wales, and all of you here today, to work together to provide employment opportunities for people with learning disabilities and autistic people who would like to work, and to ensure that quality job coach support is funded, available and publicised across the country. So I'd like to thank everyone who's worked with us and those that are continuing to do so, including Kenvyn David MS, Welsh Government colleagues from Employability and Skills, Further Education Apprenticeships, North Wales Together and the National Lottery Community Fund. In particular, I'd like to thank the young people, parents and employers who took part in the Engage to Change project, and especially those who are presenting here today. And not forgetting, of course, my colleagues from Training and Events team at LDW who've organised everything over the last week or so. So I think that's enough from me now. Back to Geraint, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.